Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Ravante, aka Ghost, and I'd like to welcome you guys to another episode of Ghost Tales. And I got my homeboy with me, Justin, aka J Hugh. What's good, man?
What's good, man?
Hey, man, we done known each other for how many years?
Man, over 20.
Yeah,
Easy.
Easy. We used to go to middle school together?
Yeah, we did.
Way back.
Yep.
And now we're all grown up.
Yeah,
You got your shop. I'm doing my things. Hey, everything's looking up and up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, so I want to ask you, how'd you get into barbering and stuff like that?
Well, I got into barbering about 13, 14 years old, and it started from getting a fresh cut at a local barbershop when I was younger. So I just got fascinated by how I looked, and I used to have a barber when I was younger, about 7, 8 years old, but she moved back to where she was, where she grew up at. So I hadn't had a good professional cut for years. You know? So fast forward, like 4 or 5 years later, I get a fresh cut at the barbershop. So I was just like, man, this has got to be something. So a short time after that, well, back in the day, you couldn't. There was no appointments. You had to walk in.
Yeah.
Wait. You remember those days, right?
Yeah, I used to go to Sergio's.
Oh, did you?
So Eric, and it was only him and like another barber. So we used to wait for hours sitting in Sergio's shop.
Right. So I remember Sergio, good barber. A lot of people went to him actually.
Yeah.
But the other barbershop was Ray's barbershop in down Ventura Road. Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember there were no walk-ins, or there were no appointments at the barbershop. So when whoever walked in had to wait for hours. So I was there from 9 a.m. to 3 o'clock, and sometimes I'll get a cut at 1, 2 o'clock. So I used to sit and see all the conversation that would happen in the barbershop. Grown men talking about grown stuff.
Yeah.
Young people talking about young stuff. I seen people off the streets coming in there. I seen people selling stuff going in there. I seen moms and kids and everybody pretty much. It was a small shop, a lot of people. So just seeing that atmosphere, I wanted to be a part of it. And so a short time after that, I asked the owner if I can work there and sweep up hair.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man, being 14 years old, sweeping up hair on Saturdays when I didn't have school, and getting tips from the barbers at the end of the day. It's pretty cool. So I ended up embracing that atmosphere, and I just kind of grew up in it.
Yeah.
And a short time after that, I begged my mom to cut my little brother's hair.
Yeah.
Mine, she already knew that I was working in the barbershop or watching those guys cut.
Yeah.
But, little did she know that I was already kind of had a mind to cut hair too. So one day I asked her if I could cut my little brother's hair. So she said no, of course, and she could have said yeah, right?
Yeah.
But she said no. And I asked her again, and she ended up saying yeah. So I ended up cutting his hair all even. I think all number 1 or something, with a lineup or whatever. A few months after that, after I was cutting the hair for a little while, I did a good job. Just from watching all the barbers on every Saturday. So I ended up cutting their hair. I had my one little brother and then my other little brother. I think my little brother was about 3 years old when I started cutting him, I believe. My other one was about, I would say about 9 or 8. So I cut their hair. People would see it at church, you know. After that, I started cutting people at church.
Yeah. So you started to grow.
So I cut people at church. Yeah, I went to high school. I started cutting my friends in high school on Saturdays and some of their dads. And before you know it, man, I wasn't working at the barbershop anymore.
Yeah.
And I was cutting hair at my house.
Yeah.
Every Saturday. I was doing like 5 cuts. I was charged $10. And I was doing probably 5 or 6 cuts every Saturday in my garage. My parents were just a blessing to let me actually cut hair there in the garage to get my foundation started. So I thank God for that.
Yeah, and I know they had to see, I need to see something before I let you start cutting hair in my garage.
Right.
Especially having all this hair and people coming in and out of my house.
Yes.
I already know how.
Yes. But look though, check this out. I didn't get better until I asked my mom if I can give them a fade. That was a real test, right?
Yeah.
So, after me cutting my little brother's hair for a couple of months, I asked her if I can fade their hair. So she said no. Guess what? I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And it came out good. So that was the start. That was the start of my career, pretty much doing that. So sometimes you got to do things. My whole point is that sometimes you got to do things that you're scared at, scared of doing, and just dive right into it. Even though you get a no, or you get something happens, or a failure happens, or an obstacle or hindrance.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to leap over that and kind of dive in.
True, true. Hey, that's how everything is. You ain't gonna get nowhere and being stagnant in life.
No.
What? After you got your license and everything like that, did you work at a barber shop, or did you stay working by yourself?
When I first started, I worked at a barber shop. Well, first of all, keep it clear, I am a cosmetologist.
Mm-hmm.
So people think, oh, I'm a barber. Yeah, I couldn't go to barber school because it was too far away.
Yeah.
It was in Los Angeles, and we're about an hour away from LA, so
yeah.
my transportation wasn't adequate enough to get there. So I ended up going to beauty school, which was cool. But as a guy, I don't want to go to school with all girls.
Yeah.
Most guys would like to, but it's like I wanted to cut hair. But I ended up learning more than the average person does about hair anyway. So. Mm-hmm. That kind of started the whole venture of everything.
Yeah.
After I got my license, I was actually working in a shop while I was going to school for a little while. I was just kind of doing a few things here and there. The owner kind of let me be a little hands-on in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
After school, I worked at a barbershop, a local barbershop in the area, pretty new, urban shop. It was fast growth there.
Yeah.
Me being 20 years old in an environment where, I was working with all grown men and having to fight for clientele, I was pretty much fishing every single day, Those guys had clientele, they're 35, 37 years old, 40 years old. As a young guy, as a young man, I'm getting it's intimidating,
Yeah.
I remember my first haircut, check this out, my first haircut took about an hour and a half. And it shouldn't have took an hour and a half because I guess supposedly I was done, 45 minutes ago. That's what I was told. So, it's one of those things, kind of getting used to it. The barbershop that I worked at was growing a lot. It got really busy quick too because there wasn't a whole lot of shops in that area.
Yeah.
In Oxnard where we grew up, right?
Yeah.
So, it wasn't a whole lot of shops, so it basically just took off, man. So I started to see the business quick. You had to cut fast. Mm-hmm. It was so busy, you wanted to get that money because back then it was only $15 haircuts.
Yeah.
Compared to what I charge now is $40.
Yeah.
And average is about 30. I know I'm pretty high. Back in the day, yeah, it was a grind, man. It was a grind.
Hey, man.
It was definitely a grind.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
So what led you through all that? What led you to come up with the idea I want to have my own shop, and for you to, finally open your own shop? What led to that?
Well, what led to me wanting to open a barbershop is that I wanted to create my own atmosphere. Mm-hmm. I wanted to duplicate myself.
Yeah.
In a way where my vision can filter out to others. So I had a vision for a shop to have a family environment, to not have any profanity in the shop, to not have any vulgar music, to be urban.
Yeah.
And I believe that you can still have a fresh shop with swag, but have a family environment too. So I wanted to create that atmosphere. I'd never seen that before. Mm-hmm. So I kind of wanted to create my own atmosphere that I wanted to work at. Because not to throw shade on any place I worked at before, but it wasn't really clientele friendly, or for all my clientele.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. It wasn't
Yeah.
Just for some clientele it was, but I lost a certain demographic of clientele because of the environment where I was at. So I didn't see any more growth in the shop. So that's why I wanted to create my own shop. And I worked at a few places before I actually opened the shop. And that kind of helped me grow to get every owner's aspect of running their business and kind of putting it to my own and see what I should or should not do when I did open my shop. So that's really why I did it.
Yeah. And so having that.
And I want to supply jobs for people. That's what I like, man.
And in the area that we're in, like I think it's like a real cool prime area.
Oh yeah.
Because you got people from Oxnard, it's not too far, and then you have the people from like Camarillo.
Yep, Camarillo, yeah.
And then you have that shop in Thousand Oaks as well.
Yep.
So you get in that area, so it's like you touching bases in a whole lot of areas.
Yeah.
And it's like you're accessible, and because there's a lot of shops around here too. Like if kids are hungry, you have restaurants, you have the liquor stores. It's in real good areas. Which other barbershops I went to, their areas, there's nothing around it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to drop your kids off and they're hungry or something, they gotta wait to eat because there's nothing around it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So I think having it in this area is like real. It was real good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, picking the area for the shop is very important. It's not just where a lot of traffic's at, but you got to pick a shop where you have businesses that complement what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses that have parking space. That's visible to traffic.
Yeah.
And of course, you want to look at the money you're paying, of course, and what you're getting out of your business, and things of that, things of that nature. But yeah, there's a lot of in Camarillo here. There's a lot of businesses around here that, especially places to eat. Like around the corner, liquor store.
Real easy spot to get. Yeah. How is it to pick barbers around here? Like, is it a hard process or is it fairly easy?
Well, picking barbers is it can be a hard process. I tend to look at more of personality than I do cutting skills.
Yeah.
Because I feel like anybody can get better at cutting hair.
Mm-hmm.
If you put the time and effort into it, you can get better at cutting hair. Sometimes attitudes don't change.
Yeah.
In this business, we don't have time. We do not have time to be thinking about your attitude changing when you're dealing with people every single day.
Yeah.
You got to be positive. You got to be willing to help. And you have to be a kind steward to people. Barbers, people expect us to know about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Fashion, sports, news, politics, what else? Health.
Yeah.
Health, wellness, about your hair, what new styles are out nowadays.
Yeah.
Where to go get something to eat at, where to go, where's the nearest club.
Yeah.
He asked us a lot of questions. They talk to us about personal things in their life.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I've heard personal issues that people are going through.
Mm-hmm.
You as being a barber, you have to hold that stuff in, but it matures you because you hear these situations and like you think about yourself like, man, like I could be going through this.
Yeah.
Like things are a lot better for me because I'm not going through what they're going through or
True.
what they just told me they're going through. So yeah, that's a cool thing about being a barber. Let me ask you a question now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Icon Barber Company?
And I enjoy it. Like when I come, we always chopping it up, and like we have real good conversation. We're always laughing.
Sometimes arguments.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's not too bad though. But everything's like clean. Everything's fun.
Yeah.
It's somewhere where I come and relax. Like I come get a cut, get fresh, be feeling good after I leave the shop. And for me, picking a shop, that's what like I want. That's what I need when I come to a barbershop. All right, thank you, man. Appreciate your time.
Oh man.
All right, thank you guys for watching this episode of Ghost Tales. Peace and love.